everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have another movie review for everybody out there. This one's on a movie called Hired to Kill. This is from Arrow Video USA, and it's directed by Nico Mastorakis. And in this movie, we have Oliver Reed, Brian Thompson, Jose Ferrer, and George Kennedy, just to name a few. And what this movie is about, it's about this guy named Frank Ryan. He's an ex-mercenary and, hired, gun for hire, hired to kill. And he's hired to track down this rebel leader and in a terrorist country and take him out, basically. And he has to go undercover as a fashion model designer, and along with him are a group of women, a posse of deadly but beautiful women. I'd say this movie is kind of like a Commando meets Rambo First Blood Part 2, but not as much action. Brian Thompson might be known for in Terminator. He was in Terminator, and that got his starting role, and then he got starred in as the main villain in Cobra with Sylvester Stallone in 1986. And I don't know if anybody remembers him. He had that really cool knife with the spikes on the handle. It was really cool. This movie, when I first started watching it, I didn't know if it was a serious movie or not, because the alarm goes off and he shoots the alarm. And I thought, is this a serious movie or not? And especially when you have George Kennedy in it, who is known for like the Naked Gun series and well, Delta Force. Delta Force is more of a serious movie, but the Naked Gun movies are, spoofs. And I really thought, wow, is this that kind of movie? And it's not. It's very cheesy. This is more like one of those action movies you've never heard of before. I know I've never heard of this movie, even though I've seen pretty much every person in this movie I've seen before in other movies. And the women, they do a pretty decent part. Each one of them has a background. Like one was for murder, one avenged, her family. One of them is hiding out, and they just all, he brings them together, and he's going to train them to fight alongside. They're going to be his models while he's this fashion model. And it's an interesting movie. It's definitely not as action-packed as you would think. There's a lot of action toward the end, but it's a lot of drawn out. And I mean, the very, very end I do like. It's not a slow burn or anything, but there's not a lot going on until the very end. He does these training sessions with them, and it's weird because it'll go from him shooting a machine gun above their heads while they're crawling on the ground to them doing a fashion model show down, walking down the runway. And it's very strange. The lines in this movie are delivered like very like so cheesy, and it's like it makes you laugh, like the way the delivery is, even what they say at times. Some of them is a little offensive, nowadays, I guess. One thing I could definitely say is that this movie was restored like to a great quality. It looks awesome. It's a brand new 4K restoration of the film, and you could tell right away that this thing was cleaned up super nice. I even said, I'm like, wow, look at how nice that looks. And some movies, they get restored and it's still, as best they can, but this just looks so nice. I'm like, wow, that looks like, it's not even from the 80s. It looks really cool. Nico Mastorakis, he's known for other movies like Island of Death and The Zero Boys, and this is more along the lines of toward The Zero Boys, but nothing like Island of Death. Island of Death is like a totally other like cult classic, like out of there kind of movie. This is nothing like that. It's like weird how he jumps around from different genres, but like I said, this one's a little more closer to The Zero Boys, but a lot more mayhem and murder, but not so much as you would think. Like I said, not until toward the end, and in the whole end shootout scene, it totally reminds me of Commando, and it's just very drawn out, and even then, it's not a ton going on. Like I said, I did care for this ending. There's an ending, and then there's an ending. And the ending was pretty funny and cool how they did it. But the ending of the movie, I didn't really care for it. The movie itself, I'm up in the air. I didn't really like it. I don't hate it. I probably wouldn't see it again. I don't care if I ever saw it again. But I'm glad I did. I never saw this before, and it was cool to see Brian Thompson in something, because I see him, that's the guy from Cobra. It was cool to see him in a leading role. And there's also on here in the special edition features, there's an interview with him undercover mercenary, and it interviews him from January 2016, so it's a pretty fresh interview. And then there's also another one, Hired to Direct, and it's an interview with the director Nico Mastorakis. So you have those special features, you have the trailers, you have the photo gallery, and all that kind of stuff. And of course there's the booklet in here, and the artwork by Graham Humphreys, which is a reversible sleeve, which I'll show you right now. There's the new cover. I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest. And it's a lot more action-packed in the cover. And then here's the reversed one. And honestly, there's no snake in this. I don't know where that came from. But that one's a little more calmed down. That's probably what more like the movie is. Like this is what they think they have, and this is what they have. It's just calmed down. But I do like the newer artwork better. And then on the inside you have the booklet, and here's the Blu-ray with Brian Thompson on the cover, and then Oliver Reed on the DVD. And here you have the booklet, and inside's the usual things, the cast, the crew, some pictures, there's the ladies, there's the contents, and there's Brian Thompson, and then you have the mercenary tactics, the dirty deeds and mischief making of Hired to Kill. So you got like a little brief introduction to the movie, and there's the ladies of the movie posing for their fake fashion show, and then just more stuff, more pictures, and then you get the back of it right there. And there's the reason he has all these holes in this, that was a printout of him, and they were using him for target practice. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big action hero fan. I really like action movies. This one didn't have as much action as I would have wanted. I can appreciate it, you know, I respect it, but I really didn't care for this movie that much. I didn't hate it, but I could care less if I ever saw it again, to be honest. But I do think that it was restored, like, beautiful. It looks beautiful, interviews are cool, artwork looks awesome. If you're a fan of action movies, you know, Brian Thompson, Oliver Reed, George Kennedy, anybody, you know, and you like fashion models from the 80s, check this movie out. I think you'll like it. And, you know, to get a better look, check out the trailer for this movie at the end of this review, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button, and make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Horrormino. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.
I'm a hired hand, that's all. There's nothing wrong with that.
My name is Michael Bartos.
The country's ready to blow. All we need is a match.
Perhaps a revolution does need a martyr.
Murder, blood, and paranoia are gonna make fine company where you're going. Because, ladies, you're going to hell.
Keep those pretty heads down, baby.
From Eve to Margaret Thatcher, you've managed to screw up history.
I've been convicted of murder, conspiracy, and treason.
Girls all have brand new IDs. You are officially Cecil Thornton.
I was told you were a professional, Mr. Ryan. What the hell are you doing risking your cover like this?
Ladies and gentlemen, give you Mr. Cecil Thornton.
Underneath all this, you do care, don't you? I love this country. You love no one.
went to market. This little piggy stayed at home.
Nothing is perfect when women are involved.